Your emotions can wreak havoc on your body. And we're fortunate today and it can even cause disease, ladies. So we want to find out some answers today. Hi, I'm Trish Gleason, and today we have with us Dr. Christine Chico. Welcome, Dr. Christine. How are you?
I'm great, Trish. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you and your ladies. I'm excited to share what knowledge and information I can impart to them.
Great. Well, let me introduce you a little bit more thoroughly because you have quite a background. You're a board certified anesthesiologist. You've got a doctorate from New Jersey University at the School of Medicine and Dentistry and of osteopathic medicine. She's going to teach us today how stress can cause diseases, possibly even cancer, and how you can reduce your stress to minimize your sickness. So we're excited because we need to know. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and ask you a few questions as we go along. And of course, I'm sure you've got a lot prepared just to go over with us.
Okay.
What is I'll turn it over to you, but I guess my first question would be, what is the main cause of our emotions causing us to be sick?
Well, it's our thoughts. What we think about, our thoughts actually affect our body's physiology.
Okay.
And whether a threat is real or we just believe it to be a threat, we're going to have emotional response to that threat. It's going to cause chemical reactions in our body. Biochemicals and hormones will be released, and then they have an effect on our body's physiology. And that's how our thoughts and our emotions can really impact our health. It's through our internal biochemistry is affected by our thoughts.
So if I have bad thoughts, or I get in an argument with somebody, or I'm at the grocery store and the clerk is rude to me and I want to say, that's rude, I'm better off to just keep my thoughts to myself because it's promoting enzymes and bad energy in my body?
Well, if you have the thoughts, you're going to still have that response in your body.
Oh, yes,
it's not
true.
whether you keep them to yourself or express them. It's what thoughts you have about the situation.
Oh, that's a good point.
If you believe that that situation is threatening and it annoys you and it makes you angry, then you are going to have that physiologic response. But if you're able to rein in your thoughts and look at the circumstance in a whole different light, then you're not going to have that emotional response, which is then going to trigger hormonal release in your body.
Okay.
I think I discussed with you before about something called the autonomic nervous system, which is autonomic. It's completely out of our physical control. And it is what affects how our heart beats, how our blood pressure is, how our immune system works, how we digest food, how we're able to reproduce, and where the blood flows in our body. And all that is under the control of the autonomic nervous system. They said autonomic, we can't control it. Like I can control picking up this pen, but I can't consciously control my heart rate. However, when your thoughts do affect how fast your heart beats or how high your blood pressure gets. And that's because when you become angry or excited or fearful or in panic mode, something called the sympathetic nervous system comes into play. And that's our body's biologic response to a threat. And it's also known as fight or flight. And so that gets you all hyped up. And that's actually the stress response in your body, but it's triggered by what you think about your external environment.
Is that why sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and my heart will be beating fast? It's because I was thinking something that caused my system to pump more blood. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're asleep and you have a dream, which you may or may not recall, but you have, a nightmare or a fright dream, your mind believes your body is in danger, even though you're sound asleep, but those thoughts are going through your mind. So Your body is preparing to get you out of a harmful situation. Eons ago, when we were cavemen, that had a very practical application in the life of the caveman. He saw a threat, quote, the saber-toothed tiger. He had to get ready to either run away from that tiger or go into battle with that tiger. So there were a lot of changes in his body's physiology to prepare his muscles to move and his eyes to let in more light. That's when you're nervous, you're scared, your pupils will dilate, and that's all part of this autonomic response. And again, it doesn't matter if you see a real physical threat in front of you, or you just imagine and believe that that threat is coming at you. You have the same response. Your mind does not know if it's real or imagined. And the example you gave of a dream is exactly right. The other thing is, if you're watching a movie, if you're watching a Stephen King movie, you get a little bit anxious. You kind of relate to this demon or spooky guy or clown or whatever it is that's going to come and harm you or another human being, and you start to get excited about that. And all these changes due to the biochemistry start to take place in your body.
So I'm thinking there's so much depression, anxiety, because you always hear about everybody taking Adderall and whatever, and that's fine. But it seems like our minds possibly can be controlled to where we don't have to take so much of it, just based on what you're telling us. What do you think of that?
Exactly. Again, stress and anxiety, or depression and anxiety, do have biochemical components in your body that a lot of the medications will work to even out. However, anxiety is our thoughts about what could potentially happen in the future, and depression is maintaining our thoughts on what did happen in the past and wishing you could change it.
You're kidding. I didn't know that. So anxiety is the future, and depression is what past.
Right. Is what
So
things
we
that
have
happen.
to fix.
And
so we can fix the past one, hopefully pretty easier than the future one, hopefully.
Well, a lot of times there's things you cannot change. You cannot change if a spouse left you. You can't change if you did something wrong in a meeting. You can't change if you got fired. But you can change how you look at that event, how you think about it. And what you think about is what's going to affect your biochemistry. So,
how do you go about changing what you think about it? So let's say you were a child and you were abused, or let's get real raw, because that's probably what people are thinking. They had a trauma, or that you weren't treated right growing up, or in a marriage. How can we get that thought from being depression to it's just in there?
Well, trauma is a whole nother topic, and you do have to work through some of those emotions. But what I focus on is the practice of meditation to control your thoughts, to learn to focus on now and not let yourself be tied up with what did happen or what might happen, but learn to be in the present and have your thoughts stay with you and present and not running off in 2 different or even 10 different directions. So the practice of meditation is what I'm teaching as a method to help rein in your thoughts, or I hate to say control your thoughts, but to maintain a level of focus on good thoughts, on things that are healthy for you.
Is it manipulating your thoughts? Is that too strong of a word, to manipulate your own thoughts?
Well, if you're manipulating your own thoughts, that's fine. When you talk about manipulation and somebody else is doing it, well, that's a whole nother story.
Right. Okay.
Trish. But yeah, we're manipulating our own thoughts, and that again, an event could happen. And I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. He said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's about having your perspective, staying with the now, and having a better perspective about the past.
Okay. So I'd like to stay in the now, but can you teach me how to do it? So you're saying meditation. What kind of meditation is going to help me realize, hey, look, I've got it pretty good right now. Stop worrying about the past and stop getting anxiety about the future. How do I do that?
Well, meditation is a very, very broad topic, and there are many different types and ways to meditate. The easiest way for an individual to start is just to focus on your breath.
Really?
And I mean, I'm sure when somebody gets very upset, or you've heard it, like, just take a deep breath. And that will calm down your nervous system. You focus on that breath, not what else is going on. You focus on that breath. You take it in deep. Allow your belly to relax as the air comes into your lungs, and feel your abdomen relaxing. And then hold that breath for the count of 5. And then use your abdomen to exhale, and just feel the air as it's going through your chest and through your lungs and out your nose. And just that act will get you focused and centered. And there is a whole physiologic response to that deep breath and holding it. As I told you, there's the autonomic nervous system, and we talked about the sympathetic being fight or flight. The other side of that balances out is the parasympathetic, which is also called rest and digest. And the actual act of taking in the deep breath and holding it triggers nerve cells in your lungs that send signals to your brain to activate that parasympathetic nervous system and bring you chemicals that help you relax and help slow down that adrenaline from the fight or flight. So just that in the moment can help. Now, meditation is not one thing, and it is a practice. And as a practice, nobody ever perfects it. Well, maybe a Zen monk, but you and I don't know we're going to perfect it, but it's something we should be practicing on a regular basis. And the more we do it, the easier it gets. I mean, if you're in the middle of a rage, one deep breath is probably, it may get you a little bit calm, but it's not going to change everything. But doing these practices on a regular basis will then help you be able to call them in when you really need them.
Right. Well, I'm excited to find out that breathing actually has a scientific reasoning, because we're breathing in and it's telling our brain to release more antioxidants.
Yes.
What is it?
It's called acetylcholine. That's the
It's going to give me some acetylcholine. It's going to go into my body, and then it helped me relax more, which
become more relaxed.
By being more relaxed, then I have more. I'm not killing all of my cells that's helping me be healthy. My immune system, is that
right? Well, back to the 2 branches of the autonomic nervous system. When you get anxious and stressed and you're ready to lash out in whatever way, that's your sympathetic nervous system. Now that does a lot of redirecting of your body's chemistry. One of the things it does is increase your cortisol levels from your adrenal gland. And because normally when you're resting, the cortisol is lower, and you're going to be using, your body's fighting off infection. But when you're ready to run and fight, you don't want energy to fight off infection. You want the energy to go to fighting and fleeing. Also, it's going to increase your blood sugar, because that's what your muscles use for energy. So it's going to mobilize stored fuel in your body, so your blood sugar goes up. Then you're going to redirect the blood flow to your muscles, because you want to just get going.
I see.
That shift in blood flow is going to take blood away from your brain, so you're not going to think clearly. So we're raising our blood sugar, we're decreasing our immune system, we're decreasing our ability to think. Now, on the short term, it's very beneficial, and you get out of the dangerous situation and you just relax. But in today's society, people, their job, their kids, their spouse, the traffic, talking to your internet provider on the phone, trying to get a human being when you're trying to fix your computer, all those things make us stressed and anxious.
Continuous, yeah. So let's just make sure we're right on this, because this is unbelievable. Every time somebody gets upset, their cortisol increases. And because your cortisol increases means you're going to get more, your blood sugar is going to go up, your blood sugar level. And because you need more energy to get mad. And because our society is getting mad so much more often, this blood sugar is terrible for us. So it's causing diabetes and other diseases. Is that the rationale?
Right.
Okay.
It's going to cause diabetes. And then again, with that anger, the sympathetic nervous system, the cortisol, and the adrenaline, that increases your blood pressure, it increases your heart rate. So those two things put a strain on your heart. So that's going to increase your incidence of heart disease. So that's another issue. And again, it's because most people in our society are on constant input from stressful situations.
Right.
And they focus on them. So we're not going to change. We can change a little bit of the world just around us, but we're not going to change. We work on that every day, but we're not able to change everybody. But we just work on ourselves and how we react and interpret what's going on around us will help us to decrease those stress levels and bring us to a healthier spot. And again, learning to focus on the now. And meditation is one of the best tools there is to learn to focus on the now, because meditation is the process of controlling and focusing your thoughts. And there are many, many different techniques to do that. But you start with something simple, and it's just, again, the breathing exercise is one of the best things. I've tried different types of meditation personally, and I found breath is something we all have with us at all times. If you're a physical creature living on this planet, you have a breath. So you don't need any fancy tools, any fancy music, any fancy CDs. You just need to learn to focus on your breath.
Okay.
And in the short term, just doing that 1 or 2 breaths before a meeting, before a confrontation, after something, or in the middle of something upsetting you. However, doing a daily practice for a set period of time, maybe 20 minutes a day, and maybe something you start at 5 minutes a day and gradually increase so that you're doing something for about 20 minutes a day, will then have that be part of your system, your body's system, so that when you need to just call in that help in the immediate, it's kind of like, when you're riding a bike. When you're a kid, you get on, a couple pedals, you fall off. After a while, you just jump on and you're going down the street. So the same thing with meditation. When you can practice at it and are used to doing it, those 1 or 2 breaths will help you get to that space where you feel relaxed and comfortable and not so focused on what everybody else is doing around you and what the hell they might be affecting you.
So getting back to thoughts.
Okay.
So how can we help, aside from telling them what you're teaching us, how can we facilitate our loved ones to mold them to a more thoughtful life? Because we know that's going to save their life. We don't want them to get cancer and stress out and die. So how can we help them?
Well, we really can't change anybody else. They have to want to do it. Okay. And having an open dialogue with them, starting your practice of meditation, and then sharing that with them, leading by example, letting them see, this is what I've been doing, and they're going to notice that you have become more calm, that you do respond differently in stressful situations. And I believe that when you do that, the people around you are going to be extremely curious about what you did and how you affected that on your life, how you got there. And you can also invite them to join you in a meditation session. Say, look, I've been doing this, I've been practicing, I really feel a lot better. Do you think you'd like to sit and join me? Would you like to know more about what I'm doing? That's one way, but frequently the example, letting people see, gosh, there's something different. What did you do? They're going to say you look better, your skin looks clearer, your eyes look clearer. What's happened? What's happening? You're smiling more.
Yeah.
How did you do this?
You're in today. You're in today.
Today
you're
is what
on
matters.
Today. which takes a
Exactly.
load off your shoulders.
Yes. Yeah, because it's the only thing that's real. It's all we really have. Again, you can't change yesterday, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So just being
They could
focused
also get them, if ladies, if you go up to the top right corner of this video, there's 3 little dots, and click it, it'll say a copy link, and you can share this with people all different ways, email, text, or you can just share it to them in their messenger. So that's the other idea. And I heard through the grapevine, you are preparing an amazing program relating to this. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I'm in the process of producing a course on meditation, and it's basically for people that have never meditated or are relatively new to meditation. My target audience, not somebody that's looking for a Zen Buddhist monk to get them into higher levels of spirituality, which may come later. But right now, it's just about what meditation is, how to start a practice, how it can help you in your daily life. And that I hope to release that by the end of the year.
Oh, that's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. And what I would love to offer your group, this is one way we can help them, is I would love to offer them a coupon code where they can, when they can get into the course free. And
free?
I share it with your audience.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Contact me and I will email them when the course is available, and I will let them know how they can get into it. And what I would love for them to do is give it a try and give me some feedback on how it impacted them, or maybe how they felt about it, what they would like to see differently in it, because everything in life is always evolving. And just because I'm publishing this course at the end of the year does not mean it's going to be static. It's going to be a work in progress. And through your audience's feedback, I hope to be able to improve it for others. So that would be, a gift to them would be a gift to me with their feedback. So
thank you.
I would love to do that.
It would be like your beta test.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
group of Hush Ladies can be your beta test. That's
exactly.
great. You're planning to take it worldwide, I heard.
Yes. Yep.
That's great.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And would you put my email address in a link, or would you like that?
Well, go ahead and tell them your email address right now.
Okay. So my email is drchristine, drchristine, at drchristine Chico, CHICO.com. drchristine at drchristinechico.com. And they just have to email me. And I said the course is probably on a time frame right now for the end of the year. And so if they—
How long will the course last? Will it be a one-day thing, 4 hours?
Well, no, it's going to be a self-paced. It's probably be about 10 chapters with practices, and it'll be video, PDFs, and audios. And it would probably take just a few hours to finish the course. Brief lectures, some journaling, and some, I forget how long will it cost. It's self-paced. So that once they sign in, they can listen to the lectures. They can get the information for doing the exercises. Take some time to practice the exercises a few times, over a few days. Journal on it. Come back and come to the next discussion and the next exercise. And so if they want to do it all in one day, they can, if they just want to listen to it. However, I'm going to recommend they take a day or two to practice each exercise, journal, then come back and move on to the next exercise. So, but it's self-paced.
Absolutely. And hopefully we'll have you back again. I do have a couple more things to talk about, but we want you to come back because you have so much knowledge that I think there's a few areas we could maybe hit on the next time, because I know you have another meeting before too long. But I did want to bring up that everybody that's watching to remember, this doctor we're talking to is a board certified anesthesiologist. Know their stuff. So who else should we listen to about breathing and meditation and how important the lungs are in providing us with medicine or chemicals that are good for us in our body. So can you talk a little bit about your expertise as an anesthesiologist and how that helped you in coming up with these programs for breathing and meditation, and how it kind of works a little more intently?
Yeah, I've been in healthcare for over 40 years in several different aspects. When I stopped practicing clinical medicine and I started exploring my own spirituality, and as I looked at meditation as a way to help guide me and help me become more connected with my spirituality, I began to realize that there were a lot of parallels between anesthesia and meditation. In anesthesia, the drugs and medications I use really impacted people's level of consciousness. Most people say, I want to be out, I want to be asleep. And that's just one aspect of anesthesia. However, that's what I did. I obtunded their consciousness. With meditation, we are also impacting our level of consciousness, but through meditation, we come to a higher level of consciousness. We start to get into more spiritual realms and become more conscious of ourself and our divinity, or our contact with our creator. The other thing with anesthesia, I was also controlling the autonomic nervous system. When you have physical pain, your autonomic nervous system just kicks in and your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, and your blood sugar, and that's because of pain. And I use medication to dull that response and keep the blood pressure and heart rate under control. With meditation, it's our thoughts about potential threats that make these things happen. And when we control our thoughts and not focus on the threat, we can bring down those levels of chemicals without drugs and get our heart rate and blood pressure under control. So there's really, to me, I found a close parallel between my previous life and the direction I'm headed in now. So it's everything's interconnected, basically, Trish. When you look at the big picture, everything can be interconnected, actually.
Mm-hmm. Our mind's a powerful thing. Dr. Patrick Porter, who I think you probably know, Brain Tap, he told me that, and I know you're going to have a good one for this. He told me that they actually have a module that people can listen to in the dentist's office, and if they listen to it for 20 minutes, they can train their brain not to have any pain, and they can get dental work with no painkillers.
Mm-hmm. That particular program I am not aware of, but I know in the East there are many practicing physicians in Asia, China. They use a form of hypnosis to augment anesthetics. And there are some reports of them doing complete surgeries without any medication.
Isn't that
just mindset? I
just wanted to show how the spirituality and training your brain, just as you're teaching about, getting, training and teaching our brain, that you can teach it to not feel pain, then you can teach it to do anything.
Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yes, that was my point.
You're 100% right. Yeah.
Right.
There are a lot of studies that show mindful meditation does decrease the perception of pain. It does decrease the activity in the area of the brain that interprets pain. Mm-hmm. And I think there was one study that it was like 50% more effective than opiates when people were taught proper meditation techniques.
Really?
Yeah. So
do you think sometime you would come and give us a little 15-minute class on other meditation techniques, or unless you can think of one to do sitting there? Well, I know we know the one
we do have other the breathing would be the best one right now. And as I said, I'm going to have several guided meditations, audios, and exercises in the program.
Okay, great. What about the ink pen one? One day you
mentioned. Yes, we talked a little bit the other day, just exercise and focus, just to learn to keep your mind focused. You take a pen, a pencil, it could be any object, your glasses, but I was taught with a pencil, and set a timer for 5 minutes and just sit and look.
And, oh no, that might be tough.
And look at every detail of the pen. And your mind may want to say, well, this is stupid, and you go, okay, well, yeah, maybe that was stupid, but let's get back to the pen. And And just get yourself to do that you can do anything for 5 minutes, Trish.
Right. Yeah.
and
So I
that's
think you're right. Yeah.
simple exercise in learning to focus.
Because the purpose of it is you're thinking of nothing,
Mm,
and that's helping your body relax.
Correct. You're
Now-
not thinking about the other, all the things coming at you a mile a minute. You're just thinking about this silly little pen.
Is watching
don't
a movie
judge
or reading, is watching a movie or reading a book relaxing?
Not at all.
You're
Not at
kidding?
all. It's an escape, but it's,
Yeah.
well, some people may find it relaxing. It's an escape from reality, but it's not the same as meditation and focus, because you're still going to have a myriad of emotional responses to what you're reading or watching. And
Okay.
what we want to do with meditation is blunt those emotions, blunt those reactions, slow our body down. If you're reading a love story, you may start to feel overwhelmed and filled with joy, and then he dumps her and you're going to cry. Or if you're listening or watching reading Stephen King or watching one of his movies, you're going to start to get excited. Or if you're watching, Escape from Manhattan or one of those crazy Mad Max movies, you're going to be going, your body's going to be ready to fight with him.
Yeah.
So it is an escape from your reality, but it's not getting your emotions and your thoughts under control. It's just still letting them go, but in a different direction, but not a necessarily good direction. What we want to do is do meditative things.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk, sometimes people's hobbies can be very meditative for them.
Okay.
One of the things I do is beadwork. I think I shared with you before. And
Yeah,
I work
that's
with
beautiful.
very
Mhm.
tiny seed beads, and they take a lot of focus. So I'm not worried about too much else except just doing this repetitive. And a lot of times it's just a repetitive task. Some people like to do woodwork and they're sanding. And that kind of just gets their mind off of everything else except that flow and that motion. You can be doing a walking meditation. I personally like to walk on the beach. I'll walk barefooted, and you just focus on each step and how that ground feels under your feet. And that's a form of meditation.
Okay.
So there are a lot of ways. Once you just get that basic, I can focus my mind, and an exercise like doing an object for 5,
I'm going to try it today.
or taking in a few deep breaths, closing your eyes and focusing just on the air as it comes in and out of your lungs,
Okay.
are
Well,
starts. And as I said,
Mm.
there's no end point to meditation. It's a practice that's continually evolving. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's highly individualized, and you can't do it wrong as long as you make an effort to do it.
is since we've just learned about Ayurvedic.
Okay, yeah, it's a form
Is-
of Eastern Indian medicine and practices for healing.
So meditation is not Ayurvedic, or
It is part. Yeah, it is. It is part of the tradition, and they use a lot of certain dietary and herbal remedies, but they also use meditation. Yoga is a physical form of meditation. So
Okay.
practicing yoga is also, you focus on your body. Hopefully you're leaving the other thoughts around, and you're
Mhm.
focusing on your positions, your postures, your poses, your breath. You're coordinating your breath with your movement, and that's all part of the Ayurvedic traditions as well.
Well, I think we better. I know you have a meeting coming up, so
I do. I'm
weary
sorry I
of
had to
the
cut
time.
it so short, but
We're
I
excited to have had
appreciate
you. Mhm.
appreciate being here. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you.
And I hope your ladies will reach out to me, and I will keep their contact information. And as soon as I get that course published, I will let them know and give them a coupon code, and they can join me. And I would love their feedback and to hear how it's helped them, or what they might like done differently in the course, or what they would like to see, what would have been more helpful, what I could have explained a little more clearly. All those things will be great feedback for me, and I would appreciate it.
Okay, and it's
But I'm sure they're
Dr.
gonna be happy
Christine.
with it.
Dr. Christine at drchristinechico.com. Right.
Correct.
Well, thank you, Dr. Chico, and we will see you again soon. Have a great meeting today.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Trish. You have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye,
Okay, you
ladies.
too. Bye,
Thanks
ladies.
for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We're at the end of another enlightening episode of the World Wellness Show, and we want to be reminded of the incredible insights shared by our esteemed doctor. Their passion for health and wellness have provided us with valuable knowledge to enhance our well-being. We offer educational information and suggest strongly that you seek medical attention through your physician or other medical professional. Until next time, thank you for coming.